Wow, such an opportunity and a privilege to be here with us once again. I'm sure you can see the beautiful shoe laces that we have on the screen. They are majorly wooden shoe laces, both for heels and for flat shoes. So these are ordered made by students just like you. So you can let me know if you are interested in actually getting a wooden shoe lace as well. Alright, you're welcome to today's tutorial. I am your Shoemaking Made Easy tutor, Ojuroli Mochibala. Today I am going to be putting us through on how to actually finish the series that we started on this beautiful design you have on the screen. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what these are. These are orders, of course, from students. We call this an insole for heel. It's called shankless insole. You don't need a shank for this. Let's go into today's tutorial. So, we're just going to continue. We have already marked this spot. We have marked this spot as well. So we want to punch. Don't forget that we are supposed to make sure that it's about 1 centimeter away from this edge. That's very important. Then how does our design look like is like this. We have something like this here. So I was actually explaining that when I want to punch the other part, which is, when I place this here, this is supposed to be here, it's coming in between here. When I place this, I'm going to use it to cover it this way. I hope all these are black. I'm sure you can see the opening. I'm going to use it to cover it. You cover it in such a way that you are not seeing it. Can you see that you can't see the opening again? Then you pick under a. Don't pick directly outside. Just go under a bit and then mark that point. Then you can go ahead and punch. I find that so many times when we want to punch like that, you just go ahead and place it like this. I see some people place like this. They'll place it on top of it like this. They will mark this point, this like mark here and mark A. By the time you finish doing that, if you open it, you find that it will be wider than what you are having. If I place this here now, you see that you can literally not see what I opened. But by the time I open it, it will stay perfectly fit inside it. That's how to achieve a perfect fit, especially when you want to cut and cut by inside your insole. You don't want it to pass by the side. So let's not forget that. So since this one is here, now this part, for this one, don't forget our design is like this. We have this here and we have this coming down here. That's the way our design is. So also on this part, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to place this, cover it, and then pick under as well. Punch. I'm going to punch. Make sure that it's about 1 centimeter away from the edge. You can measure it like I said. You can measure, please. There's no crime there. Use your ruler. Check it. Is it up to 1 centimeter? Where your 1 centimeter is, punch. That's how to work with it. That's how to work with it. And if you want to go this way, go this way. Place it this way. Place it this way. This is 1 centimeter. That is what I mean by 1 centimeter. If you are going to still grind the edges, I'm going to suggest you can decide to use this part of your ruler if it will be easy for you, but just half of an inch. That's about 1.25, half of an inch, because by the time you grind the edges, it will reduce, and before you know it, it will be very close to your opening, especially when you are opening the inner part of your insole. So with what I have here now, all I need to do is to open this part, of course open this part, so that I can insert what I have here and insert this as well. Now for this other part, I'm also going to punch the same thing I did here. I'm going to also do here as well. So that is just the simple process for each of the opening. So I'm going to be using my utility knife. Now don't make sure it's not, you don't do it like this. No, I'm seeing that, I'm sure you saw me punch the two sides. It's just a way of sealing the two ends. I have seen people just mark this one, and just use utility knife to open without punching it. It's not compulsory that you use the kind of punch I use. You can get these ones. These ones are very cheap. I think this is about 400 or 300 naira instead of buying that type that I use. These ones too work very well. Just make sure you buy 2mm punch, buy 1mm punch, and that will be perfectly okay for whatever punch process you want to go through. Even for this middle, the 2mm will work, especially if you want to create a tongue design. You understand that you are going to be having an opening here, and if the tongue is a bit wide or thick or whatever the case may be, your 2, you can do it 2 times. You understand, just to make it wide. So it's a very good tool that you should also make sure you include in your tool as a beginner. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to, of course, take it in a bit so that I don't overcut or so. So, can you see what it looks like? See what it looks like. So it's be going in there. Can you see that we are not having any space? No space is left. No space is left there. So I'm also going to open this as well. I didn't open once. I opened with reference to the thickness of my leather. So your leather too has to do with your opening, the thickness of your leather. Don't just cut through once like this, like open it once and expect that it will stay there. Of course it will stay, but sometimes it makes the edge to bulge out. Then you find out that this side of your design, when you finish cutting and inserting it, this place will be bulging out. So you have to check that as well. So I'm going to go through, of course, open this, and then we'll now put it together and fix the lower part of the design. So now you can see what I have right here. I've inserted this, I've inserted this. Now, if you have been following this series, you find out that, of course, you understand how we took all the positions. I mean, how you know where to place it. If you don't know, I need you to go to the previous video before this particular one. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I want to let you know that if you want to enjoy an easy shoemaking journey, this is a channel you should stick to, and make sure you click the notification bell so that, of course, each time we upload a video, you will be notified. We try as much as possible to upload at least like 3 or 2 in a week, so you will definitely have something new to learn. So please check that video to know. And now, I was telling us in that series that by the time I actually fix this front part like this, I can ascertain if the position that I pick for this side and this side are perfectly okay. And that's what I'm trying to check right here. So now, you may remember that I told you that this was slant in that video. Now, by the way I place it now is no more slant. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to ensure that I repick my position now, since I now have what I want. So I'm going to pick this part and pick this part. Now, you need to be very careful when you are picking position on this side of the design. Now, the reason is because when you hold it this way, this one must not be here like this. Don't never allow this side to be like this and this one will be outside, except that is the way your design is. Except that's the way your design is. Never do that. Your design is supposed to be, the two sides are supposed to be at the same spot or slightly lower. This one can be slightly lower, but this one must not be outside. Why this is inwards like this or else? Because the full weight of the foot rests on this side. So you really need to be careful, you know, with your positioning here. So now that I've positioned that, I'm also going to punch like I punched the others. I'm going to punch. And of course, I'm going to punch this side as well, making sure that they are either at the same spot or, of course, a bit. You can see what I have. This is one and this is another one. So it's still the same process. This time around, don't forget, I'm going to place, of course, upward like this and not, you know, when I was placed, let me show us something. when I was placing this particular one, I placed it up to pick the lower part. Now, because of the way I positioned this one, I started from where it ended and not where it started. So make sure that you don't make the mistake of also positioning this downwards, because it will not fit the design again. So it's meant to be upward, because we took the end, the end point of the design of the placement while we actually put it at the back. So I'm going to cover it as well, pick the upper part also, and open like I open every other one. Then we'll go to how do we properly bottom, and how do we ascertain that the size will perfectly fit the owner of the footwear. I will be back to show you that. So what is going to happen now is, after you have actually done this, you have to remove it and then place on this one to position, because I find out that sometimes when some of us want to do this, I see you go through the process again, you don't have to. So just get something to mark on the other side, get something to mark all of the spots, just mark all of the spots, and then you are good to go. Since you cut the same thing, except you cut them differently. So make sure you balance it properly. You can use a pen or something just to pass through that opening. So you can see that those points are showing there. So I'm just going to punch them and open. All right, so now the major part, which is also, I would say, yes, it's a major part. Apart from when you have actually positioned properly, you also want to make sure that it's perfectly fitting the individual or whoever you are creating for. If it is yours, you can actually insert your feet and use it to last it, you understand, so that you pull it just like I'm using this shoe last now. But if it's not yours, one thing you can do as a beginner is learn to take measurements of your customers' feet. Learn to take their measurements. This part of their foot, from the big toe to the smallest one, we call it ball girth. Why this part is what we call the instep. This part is the instep. Now, those are the two major important parts when it comes to lasting this particular design. So you want to make sure that you take this measurement. Now, when you are taking the measurements, you are not taking the measurements just from this side to this side. No, you are going to take the all-round measurements of their foot. Like, let me show you what I mean. So when you want to measure the ball girth, you want to place, it depends on the side. If you are using inch, of course you can use this side. You are going to come this way and then try to check what it is. See where the two of them meet here. Can you see where they meet? So for this one, this is about 7 inch. This is about 7 inch. You understand? This is 7 inch. This front part is 7 inch. So you want to measure this part too. As I'm sure you can see that I'm measuring all around it and not just the upper part. Measure the person's foot that way. This is about 8 inch. So what does that mean? You want to make use of any shoe last that has on this part, when you take the measurement of that part of the shoe last, is 7 inches and this side is 8 inches. If you use that particular shoe last to last for that person, it will perfectly fit. That is how to maintain a perfect fit when you are creating or bespoking a footwear for somebody, depending on their choice design. I am going to just talk about this particular design today because this is what we are working on. So the most important part is this part, and of course this particular part. So by the time you measure take the ball girth and the instep of their foot, just the measurement you got, just use it on any of your shoe lasts, even if it is not the size the person is wearing. As long as the measurement complies with that shoe last, it will work. Yes, it will work like magic. So what does that mean? If I take a measurement of somebody who wears size 39 and I find out that the shoe last that I have, that 40 was written on it, as that particular measurement, the ball gut and the instep of that person that wears 39, I am going to just insert my 40 shoe last and it will perfectly fit it. So that is one way to actually create a perfect fit when it comes to shoemaking. I need you to make sure that you deploy this method and ensure that you give me feedback on the result you got from it. So now that we have this, all you need to do is apply your contact cement adhesive, apply here, apply all around, allow it to dry, then you place it all down. My shoe last is size 40 and it's perfectly okay. Now this shoe last is actually looking masculine. It's not looking feminine in any way. Same thing with this particular one. It's not looking feminine, it's looking masculine. But I find out that your proper measurement of their foot, I know somebody's asking, madam, okay, the person I'm making for is not around me, what do I do? Teach your customers how to measure their foot. They are ordering a bespoke footwear. I am not against you being professional enough to know what you should make for them when they just tell you size. I am not against it. But what I am against is you doing an unprofessional job in the name of proving to be professional. Because if it doesn't size the person, two things will happen. They actually either return it or never return, as a customer. If they return it, I'm sure it's going to be on you. You are creating a totally new one. So it's just my suggestion, though you may decide to actually use professionalism, especially if you are sure that, okay, they say it's 40, even when you don't see their feet, you believe that, okay, if I do it like this, it will work. I know all 40 sizes don't carry the same ball gut. They don't all carry the same instep. Some people, their leg is actually their size is 38, but their ball gut and instep is 40. You don't want to doubt that. I have worked with some people's feet like that. So if the person told you 38, you went and carried 38 last, that you did not even standardize. And I need you to know that there's a process we call standardization when it comes to shoe last. In case you don't know, I'm going to encourage you to join our combo class. In that combo class, I literally touch on everything, every basic things you need to know as a beginner. And of course, if you want to upgrade too, I recommend that class. It's just 5,000 naira. It's $5 if you're paying. Of course, you're out of Nigeria, and for that $5 you are going to be having access to that class for good 1 month. Your first subscription give you access to, of course, of 2 months. It means your first subscription you have 2 months access. Of course, after that you're going to be having a monthly access. So there I taught on how to last, I taught on standardization, how to measure your customers' feet, how to know their size. Some people don't know their size. They just say I wear 40, and at the end of the day they are not actually wearing that particular size. Also, if you don't want to use contact cement adhesive, you can use your glue to hold it down. Please don't do this if you are not sure the shoe will fit the person. Oh, don't use it. I keep shouting this. If you are not sure, please don't use it. Use your contact cement adhesive. If you need your customer to wear it before you bottom it, please do that. But I can ascertain that if you understand the process of standardization of your shoe last and also taking measurements of your customer, it will be perfectly okay. On a normal circumstances, creating bespoke footwear involves, you doing extra. So I'm sure you can see what we have right here. The next thing is for us to apply our contact cement adhesive. You see, I'm going to be using this particular one. My brand is OC High. I'm going to apply it on all the surface. Now, before I go to application, let me quickly explain something. Sometimes I see some of us, after application, your gum is all over your footwear. How do I avoid that? Let me quickly explain. So, make sure you place it properly. Place your outer sole properly. Get your marker. I'm using a black pen actually. Get a marker and a erasable pen, maybe silver, so that you can easily see it. Then just place it this way and then mark all around. That should be, that should serve as a guide for you when you want to apply the gum. Make sure that your gum does not exceed that point. It's very important. It must not exceed that point. So with that, you will not be having gum everywhere outside and you'll be using the whole day to clean. I see people clean and I see some people after, they cannot even clean it properly well. So now this is actually perfectly okay. So you just want to mark it all around like that. please hold it properly, so that you will not push it away from the other side and find out that it's not staying properly again. So I'm not sure you can see the black pen, but I can see the black pen. I can see it. So if it was actually that your silver, that our leather marker, it will show. So when you're applying gum, you make sure that you don't exceed all those lines. So with that, when you position this one, there will be no gum smearing all around your footwear. That is a trick. So I'm just going to apply my contact cement adhesive on top of all of this. You can see this has been sandpaper. They have grinded it, so make sure you grind all of it so that it will be looking perfectly okay. Of course, I bought this outer sole like this. It has been grinded. It's just this part that is not grinded, and I believe I can actually do that myself. So make sure you also grind all of these. All of these, of course, make sure you grind them. Now, for this particular leather, I find out that as much as I'm trying to actually roughen the edges, is not really ruffling, because it's actually, very smooth and very strong. So I just, of course, still ensure that I roughen it so that it will bond properly on top of this. This is really very important when you are when you are bottoming, because when it comes to bottoming process, you want to take your time. Now, the process I'm going to take this through is this. I'm going to apply my contact cement adhesive on the two surfaces, and I'm going to be leaving it for like 1 to 2 hours. I want it to stay and stick there so well. So after that, I am going to now reapply it again, allow it to dry for like 10 to 15 minutes according to the drying time of my kind of adhesive. So I'll now go ahead and position it and then show us what it finally looks like. Now they are dry. You can see what I have here. Now, some people will say they want to use glue to make sure it stays perfectly well. I would suggest that you can just put a pinch of it at interval all around your edge. If you want to put it on this side, you can put it first before you place it, because by the time you place it, it might be difficult to do it neatly. However, I'm going to be placing this just that way. So you can see the way I'm trying to. So I want to come to the front. As long as you have cut your footwear properly, your inner sole properly. If you don't know how we did all of this, please, this is a full series on how to create this particular design, from pattern to insole cutting and all of that. So please, I want you to ensure that you check it out. I'm going to take my time to hammer. I'm also going to use my stamping machine to stamp this part. Yes, there's actually a video on how to brand your footwear. So in case you might want to also check that on my channel, how to brand your footwear, I explain how you can actually brand it. So it's just to hammer it, and then of course we are going to add the rhinestone that is attached right here. You can see how neat it is. You can see that we are not having gum, all over. I'm going to take my time to really hammer this. Now you can imagine trying to use glue, your shoe glue on top of this one. It will not make it look okay. So your best bet is just make sure, if you want to use glue, you still want to use it because you are not sure, make sure you put it on it before you pick your outer sole and place on top of it. So let's go quickly to add our rhinestone. Alright, now I am doing this for the sake of those who will always smear their old footwear with shoe glue. Now this is, for me, it's not a professional practice, and at the same time I would like you to know that it has more disadvantage than advantage. Now I'm going to place it there after applying the shoe glue all around, and definitely you have to be careful. If you pull it off, it can tear whatever leather you used to wrap. If you are not careful, it can also stick to your inner sole. So if you must apply shoe glue, I would suggest you apply before you put the two of them together. in my own opinion, especially if you want to have a neat job. But if you don't want to have a neat job, you can decide to first of all bottom, then after you now decide to apply shoe glue. But that is always untidy and unclean. So that part I notice is small glue. I'm using a fine sandpaper to just try to tidy it up. When I'm through with all of that, I will use my polish to clean it up. I want you to know that this is not a professional practice. If you ask me, it's not. So the next thing is just to add the rhinestone. It comes as a sticker. It comes as a sheet like this. I used it and this is what I have left. So you want to first of all take the measurement from here to here. That is the first assignment. So now I have some of mine in pieces. So I'm going to try and see if I can join, I want to see if I can join two together like this and place on top of it. Of course, the best bet is that you cut a straight one. But if you don't have a straight one, and you still want to add it, come on now, let's do that. Let's see what it looks like. So you can make it full, like the same width, and you can make it smaller. Mine is actually smaller. So take your time to remove this. I'm going to put it in between, start from this corner. So from that corner, I want to align it at the center. Please, if you want your own to be longer, you can make it longer. I actually bought this on AliExpress. Wow, this is stunning. I actually bought it on AliExpress. In short, if I want it to just be halfway like this, I can leave it like that. And of course, I'm going to cut another one to fill in this other part. I think this is about 5. Let me check. Do I have anyone that is as long as 5? Okay, I think I have 5 here. And I made use of just 4 rows of the rhinestone. So I'm going to open also and stick it down there. But I just pray it's not showing. Please, I'm doing this for tutorial sake, so that you will not say, so you are patching it. For tutorial sake, that's the reason. Let's see if it will. So it means if I align it well, it will really, really not show. So can you see that? You can hardly see that I joined it together. Come on now. You can hardly notice that. So from all of this, I'm sure you can see what our design finally looks like. Can you see? Can you see? So if you want yours to be wide, definitely it can be wide. You can order this on AliExpress. If you want me to order for you, I can order. Please, it's not free. You will pay me. So before somebody will say it's too much, please don't come. You are going to pay me. If you can order, please order yourself. If you want me to do that, I can order for you. I can't remember how much this is now. I can't remember, so I won't be giving us any price. You can check it yourself and see the price that is tagged there. It's called Rhinestone sticker. Rhinestone sticker. So get it, and then you can use it to decorate your footwear just like what you have. Even if it is a ring toe, probably just this, like you have a ring toe here, those design that used to have a push-up, you can actually place it on it and it will be looking so beautiful. I'm sure you love what you are saying. Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed, ensure you subscribe. For the combo class, please, you can send me a WhatsApp message. You can use the number on the screen. Please, WhatsApp. If you give me a call, I may not pick it. You may not be able to reach me. But WhatsApp, I can be certain you can call me on WhatsApp if you want to. So, thank you once again for joining me today. I am still your shoemaking made easy tutor, Odrule Mojibala. I'm going to see you next time. Bye.